Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about our NFL draft prospect, Mr. Daniel Faalele, is Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, bro?
What's going on, man? The Super Bowl is over. It is draft prospect time, kicking it in the full gear. And like I said, with Daniel Faalele, we got a big guy here. Can't wait to talk more about the young man and see where he will end up in the 2022 NFL draft.
Absolutely. And he's coming straight out of Minnesota. So we want
Yes,
all
sir.
of our fans that have been watching him play over at Minnesota to comment and tell us, where do you think Daniel's going to end up? What do you think will happen? But before that, Mr. Logan Landers, tell us, what is so special about this young man and why do we feel like he's a great NFL draft prospect?
Mostly, I think it's just the size. This dude is huge. You can see on the screen if you're watching this on Facebook and YouTube, he is a large individual. And when I say that, he is 6'9", 380 pounds of pure, just raw intensity on the O line. Coming to you, right? He was born in Melbourne, Australia, went to IMG Academy out there in Florida, and now at Minnesota, ready to make his way into the NFL. Who knows where? He's already been all over the world. But man, what a prospect this guy is. So, like I say, he's an offensive lineman, looking good there. 2020, he's in the Senior Bowl not too long ago, right, for this past season. All Big Ten, first team in 2021. All Big Ten, third team also in 2021. Associated Press, All Big Ten, second team. So everyone that was able to vote on him, whether it be the media, the coaches, and whatnot, they were picking on this guy to be a star this past year. And it worked out, right? He's also academic All Big Ten in 2020 and 2021, so good with his book skills also. Like to see that. And this guy is he's grown. He's foregoing his remaining eligibility, right? And he is going to the draft. He played right tackle primarily. He started 31 of 34 career games. And Minnesota was also 23-11 in the games that he was starting in. So a winner on the O-line. His senior year, right, this past season did good. Started 12 of 13 games at right tackle and blocked for a very solid offense, right? They got that total close to 5,000 yards and averaged about 25, 26 points per ball game. He also was able to get on the offense a little bit too, right? Sometimes you like to see the big guys run. And sure enough, he got a rushing touchdown. So, right, a little bit of an offensive threat here with the ball in his hands. And definitely, someone that you could definitely throw in there late, short goal line situation if you just need a big guy to push it in for you for a quick second. But just a very good player. Didn't play in 2020, but 2019, like I said, sophomore year, played at right tackle. He did a very good job there. So he's always been a proven winner pretty much, and he's improved each and every year. Just a strong guy. Like I said, he's 6'9", 380 pounds. That's a big man. But he's got size. He's got a very good weight to him, very good height, good wingspan, right? And you love to see it. So I think that this guy's going to be a good player. When I say that, he's got strength. Like I said, he's got a very good player here. And I think that, he's going to have to slim down probably a little bit there. Maybe the 380 might be a little bit too much for some teams. Maybe go down to 350 or whatnot. But like I say, sometimes the bigger weight does have an advantage. You can't get through this guy. I mean, he looks like a brick wall, and that's just his size. So he's basically an immovable object. He's a big guy, but obviously the only issue he's going to have if you got speed rushers kind of running around him as opposed to running through him. That's where some of the trouble can land. Is he can sometimes get beat with a little bit more speedier guys, but you can't beat this guy one-on-one. You got to go at him with two guys if you're going to go through him, or if you got some speed, run around him. But with just his massive frame, right, he's got amazing strength, got a good punch, right, that you like to see with the offensive lineman. And I think, like I say, he's got some pretty good hands, right? He's got about 11-inch hands, so he's got some good size there. And like I said, we'll see if he can get a little bit more athleticism, and if he can maybe slim down a little bit, get a little bit better footwork, then this guy could be a blue chip prospect as an offensive tackle. I really think so. And for someone who probably be a day 2 pick for sure, I think maybe day 3. I don't think he'll slip that far. But there's a lot of teams in the NFL, Jeremiah, who need some offensive line help. I think Daniel Faalele is a solid pickup. If you're in that second round, if you need someone to come in there, protect your quarterback, he's the guy for you. Doesn't allow many pressures, doesn't allow a lot of sacks. We'll just see what he can do, right? Because he's amazing athleticism. Once he gets a little bit more athletic, I think he's got good potential. He's got very good size, obviously. He's got everything you want in an offensive tackle and an offensive lineman. And for someone who played right tackle, right, a very important position, you got to be able to protect your quarterback. He does that each and every single week. And I think he's going to be a solid pickup for a majority of teams, right? Just off the top of my head, right? The Bengals, like we've mentioned, they need some offensive line help. Seattle Seahawks need some guys to help them out. We can always help out Matt Ryan here in Atlanta with the Atlanta Falcons. And so I think that the upside to Daniel Faalele is definitely there. I see the appeal. I see also the negatives, like I said, with just being that size has its advantages and its disadvantages, no doubt. But maybe if you ask him to slim down a little bit, maybe like a 350, 360, just lose about 20, 30 pounds. And then, with that, he'll gain some athleticism with his feet, maybe. Work with a strength conditioning coach, get his feet work up, get his footwork up, looking good, looking trim, looking speedy. I think he could be a very solid pickup. So, like I said, I think he'll be good. And I think at the pro days, right, whenever we see everyone putting in work on the bench press, he'll probably be up there with the tops of them. And we'll see what he can do, man. But I'm excited to see what Daniel Faalele is going to do. I think he's going to be a good prospect. Okay, ending up in the NFL draft coming up in April.
Absolutely. Yeah. Daniel Faalele, we want to see what you're going to do. You've been crushing it over at Minnesota. It's a big boy who's going to get in there. He's going to be in the middle of all the action at all times. We definitely want to see that. So everybody at home, tell us, where do you think Daniel Faalele is going to end up? Do you think he'll be drafted early? Where do you think that he might get to? And which teams are you most excited about potentially drafting this young man? Tell us in the comments. And if you're watching us live, thank you so much. And if you're listening to our podcast, thank you again. But if you're not, it is the perfect time. We are about to explore so many amazing other draft prospects. We're going to be going into team previews. We're going to be getting you ready for the offseason and getting you prepped for what's coming to be the next incredible football season. You can listen to us over on Spotify. You can listen to us on Google Podcast, on Apple Podcast, on Amazon, on Overcast, on every amazing podcast network. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts, honestly, we should be there for you. Just look up 100 yards of football. We have over 600, 700, right?
Yep. We're at, I think, 708 that time. This is going to be 709. So
wow, this will be episode 709. So keep in mind, we have incredible evergreen episodes that go back for a few years, and that these are evergreen episodes you could listen to anytime as you hang out in your office, or if you're at home, when you're driving around. We will always be there for you. And if you listen back to our last episode, I actually showed how you can go and get your home device and just say, hey, like Google, for example, then you can say, play the 100 Yards of Football podcast, and it'll tell you, hey, here's the latest episode of 100 Yards of Football podcast. And so we're there for you anytime and anywhere that you'd like to listen. So thank you so much, Mr. Logan Landers, our host, for that NFL draft prospect with Daniel Faalele. And I am your producer, Jeremiah Long. We bring you these amazing, incredible football podcasts every single week and on our podcast pretty much every single day. Stay tuned with us.